So today's video is a little bit unusual, but I promised that I would always be transparent on my YouTube channel. So I talk about all the good stuff, but also the bad stuff. And I think in today's video, we are probably more on the bad side. It's a bit weird talking about it because this information just came to me recently, and it's something which happened in my street basically. And my first thought was like, oh my God, and I live here. Is it even safe to live here? So these were my first emotional thoughts, and my first reaction was I was shocked. So if you like my videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel and also grab your free ebook down in the description below and sign up to my newsletter. Let's get started. Okay, let's cut to the chase straight away. So my neighbor recently told me something about what happened in our street, so the street where I live. It's still weird, like thinking about it and like talking about it, but basically he told me that 2 murderers lived in our street. So he told me that, what happened and, where they lived, and I can tell you they literally lived like in the house, not directly in front, but like one next to it, and then the other one is next to it. So like 2 murderers, 1 murder happened also in that street. And when I heard it, I was just very shocked, and I googled the out of it. So I wanted to know like what happened, like what was the reason, like where did it happen, who got murdered. Like I felt a little bit like I'm in my own kind of murder mystery kind of TV show, which honestly, that's the last place where I want to be. Like I never watch these things because they're just horrifying, because it just makes me aware of that there are evil people out there in the world, and I know they are, but I like to live in my own little bubble in my street, but then this bubble has been burst. So let me tell you a little bit about it, because maybe it's interesting to you. I'm not saying that this is like my whole perception of Sweden has changed, like I want to move away because I live in a street where 2 murders happened or 2 murderers lived. But I mean, I feel, I can't say I feel better, but let me talk about what actually happened and when it happened, so you get also a better picture and you can build your own opinion. The first one, so the murderer who lived there also murdered in that house. So it's a murder house, like someone was murdered in that house. I mean, saying that out loud is just insane to me. And that actually happened 9 months before we moved in, and 3 months before we basically signed the contract for, buying this house. So it happened before we moved here. Maybe that's one reason why the family who lived here before moved out. I don't know. Maybe, you never know. But yeah, so it happened before, and basically a family lived there, a husband and a wife, and a 12-year-old son lived in that house. From what I gathered from my research and also what my neighbor told me, so kind of aligned. And at the end, the husband murdered the wife. You can also guess in the comments down below what nationality the husband was, just out of curiosity, and I will tell you a little bit later. So he murdered her and got caught, and he basically got arrested for it. And then actually, whilst he was in custody, he died. So he actually died because the whole background was basically he was an alcoholic, and I think he was also taking some medication for depression or something like that. And because of the severe lack of alcohol he not usually consumed, he died in custody. That's what I read, because that information was given in the news. So yeah, the 12-year-old boy didn't have a mom anymore and didn't have a dad. So that's already also very sad. Super sad. So that was kind of the story in a nutshell. And then the second murderer who lived next door. So they had a period of time where they really lived next door, probably not knowing each other that they were murderers. I mean, it sounded like they were not planning it. So, I don't know. A bit crazy. But yeah, so in that house, it didn't happen there. So what I read was that, if you want to guess what nationality the second murderer is, let me know in the comments down below. So he had actually a similar background, which is insane. So he suffered with alcoholism. He was already divorced. So he used to have a wife, and he also had 2 children, 2 girls, which I'm not exactly sure how old they were. And basically he was together with someone. He had a girlfriend who lived somewhere else, in Nacka actually. And yeah, long story short, she wanted to break up and he murdered her in her home. And it's so devastating, like that happened. And that's probably more the shocking thing for me. So that is only 1 year ago. So we already lived in the street. And so I saw a photo of him in the news. So they actually had a photo of him. And I thought maybe I've seen him. But maybe, I don't know. Could be, maybe once. I definitely cannot recall seeing him all the time. So maybe I saw him once. But that feeling is also really weird, that you literally lived next door to a murderer. And who else find it very shocking that I had 2 murderers living in my street? What kind of street is that? I mean, I love my neighbors. Not all of them I know, like a few of them I know. I mean, it's quite a few houses in my street, but the neighbors, I see regularly and even chat sometimes. They're all lovely. So it's not that you can't obviously say that the whole street is cursed. But, all these thoughts come to your mind sometimes. Yeah, so that made me feel a little bit weird about living here. But my brain also works that it keeps forgetting, which is a good thing. Because if I think about it every day, I would feel even weirder. I mean, the whole area I live in is so family orientated. So many families live here. But then again, also the murderers were fathers. So I guess no one is, excused from, things. So I guess you always have to be careful, basically. But yeah, to reveal the nationalities. So the first one was Swedish. And the whole family was Swedish. And the second one was Swedish. So I'm saying that, I mean, I'm laughing, but, it's not funny. I'm saying that because sometimes we have, the perception that Sweden is not safe because of all the immigrants. But I guess I also wanted to tell you that because still things happen in Sweden. Of course, Sweden has over 10 million inhabitants, but things are happening here as well. And I guess no country is like super safe and nothing happens there. It's just the reality of things. But yeah, I wanted to kind of I'm not saying that, there are, so much bad things happening. I still don't feel really uncomfortable living here. It's just something which happened, and it happened in my street, and it feels uncomfortable and I'm shocked about it. But at the same time, I have this strong belief, and I can feel my daily life is very safe and very beautiful life here in Sweden. But yeah, I still wanted to tell you that because part of a Swedish life, right? So I wanted to share that with you. Anyways, so that was a very unusual video. Do let me know in the comments down below what you thought. I don't know if you have any thoughts about it, but yeah. That was a very shocking experience, and I still digest it, but yeah, I will just keep you updated. I mean, they both don't live here anymore. New neighbors moved in one house already. The other house is actually still in the process of being sold, and I just hope for really good neighbors. I mean, one family already moved in and they seem really nice, so should be fine. So I hope that the universe works. There have been already 2 murderers living in my street. So how high is the likelihood that more murderers come and live in my street, you know? Weird thought. But anyways, thanks for watching till the end, and I hope I see you in my next video. Hey do!